All right, we'll go ahead and get started. This is the finale, I think, unless something happens between now and the first. This is the last scheduled meeting, so I'll get you to please just check your phones, perhaps, make sure set the filing off, please, the ring. We'll call the meeting to order, and we'll have our pledge to our flag and then a short moment of prayer, and we'll get started. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, for this time together. We thank you, Lord, for the fellowship and just a time of being with friends and family as we approach Christmas. As Christians, Lord, we're so grateful to be able to celebrate the birth of Christ. Last, Lord, that you bless those that suffer from whether it's a physical illness, issues with family, whatever the issue is, Lord, you know it better than we. We pray that we'll treat each other better during this time of year. Wouldn't it be a nice thing, Lord, if we treat each other this way throughout the year? We pray that you'll compel us to do that. And be with us now as we conduct the county's business. As we leave here tonight, we pray for your safe traveling mercies. And we ask all of these things in your name. Amen. Amen. All right, first item is the minutes from our last meeting on December 4th. And you have a chance, or if you've already had a chance, look for a motion to approve. Motion to approve, Chairman. I have a motion to approve.
Second.
And I have a second. Is there any discussion or any questions about those minutes? All right, seeing none. Commissioner Allen?
Yes.
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 Very good. Business involving guests, groups or multiple visitors. I don't see anybody on the agenda for that tonight. And we'll make the chairman's report equally quick. And item number 4, report from the Industrial Development Building Authority. Marvin, there's a meeting in progress as we speak. There's a vacant chair over there as well. And he did provide a copy of each one of you. Should have had that in your packet for the items of note on that report from the IDA. The ribbon cutting was held on December 6th. Get it?
Yes.
Okay. For the First Community Solar facility down at the Peoria Junction. 2 megawatt facility. And they will be up and running very soon. Also, well, I'll wait till we get down there. There's a third item there.
It wasn't cold in there that day.
It was freezing cold. I was totally undressed. It was hard to enjoy that. Yeah.
My face was still cold.
Yeah. And it was still a little muddy down there too. So, but I sure enjoyed being there when they opened it.
And a long way from the car.
Absolutely. And
There's a lot of things.
we were joined by Senator Dean. We had 2 of our public service commissioners there that evening, and George Power obviously was well represented.
It was the wrong meeting.
You know,
Long talk.
yeah, yeah. All those people that had to speak, I was able to share a few remarks, and mine were very brief. George, a little an hour. Again, the updated timeline said it'd be fully operational by March or April of 2019. That work continues down there right now. They're starting to see steel coming in, and people down there to actually perform the construction. So that's a welcome sight as well. Prospect from Texas wants to locate a larger solar project here in Madison County. So what this means to folks here in Madison County is for that solar power, that power that's generated here, it's made available directly to citizens. So it's produced cheaper, you buy it cheaper. So again, that is something that helps us, and then of course any residual is purchased by the Southern Company through Georgia Power. We have a couple of the Dollar General down in Carlton should have, we're on a ribbon cutting for that anytime. And then of course, for those of you who are in the Culver area, there's construction ongoing now right at 72 in the school, Culver School, what's the name of the room?
Culver School Road.
Culver School Room, there you go.
Took a lot of imagination.
Well, if I just pay attention to what they had written down here, I could have probably read that too. This panel says that Destin Landmark, that's not a landmark, that's a Amesbrook grocery. For those of you who know it as Strickland's Grocery on 29 in Urban Kirk, that one is up and running, and of course Subway is in business there at their new location in Danville. All right. Let's see. We have statements and remarks for any items, item number 6 through 10. For anybody wishing to make a comment or remark on those items, you're welcome to do so at this time. Yeah.
I'd just like to say on the number 6 item, consider vacant family and consumer science position. I would just like to put my input in that what I have seen in the last couple of years with Nancy Bridges leaving the post, and then the time between Nancy's leaving and then the hiring of Morgan Langford, that there was a loss there. Nancy served many years with me while I was the teen parent support group person. She came in and did nutrition programs for our group of teen parents at least once a year when she was able and available, because she was very busy. Morgan, since then we have not been meeting as the teen parent group, but Morgan has been very influential in our county in so many different areas that things that I'm involved with too, especially through MART, but actually through the health department with the Teen Pregnancy Prevention Coalition. She has sat on that board and brought a lot of information to them, and has been coordinating classes with the health department with Olivia, and they've taught some classes. Shirley, help me, what's the name of the class? Relationship Smarts. And they were even to the point of trying to get that into the schools, and they're still working on that. But she also had started a master fax class that we were trying to attend. And I just hate to see that position not be accepted and approved for it to continue to have someone there. I just can't imagine this county without that position being filled. The other thought I had in preparing to see what we're up against with this either way is, what would we do without that position? Who's going to fill those shoes that Morgan and Nancy has filled over the years? You know, people are already stretched thin, but Morgan was pretty stretched. Think about the time of the fair. If you went down and you saw the exhibits and you saw the things that are brought in, that she was busy that whole week preparing for people to come to the fair. There's just so many things that position does that I think needs to be thought about.
All right, thank you.
I would like to just echo that and make a point. A lot of people still think that position originally was called a home economist, and so many people, and until I was around them in the building, I didn't realize how much more they do. Because, you know, back in the old days, it was pretty much, you still think they teach people to make jelly and pickles and canned beans and stuff, and that's it. That's now just a small percentage of what they do, and the things Melanie was talking about, even some really valuable things I've seen. They have standing classes every month at the senior center where the FACS agent, now it's Family and Consumer Science, it's not home economist, goes to the senior center to discuss health, nutrition, wellness, exercise, and things like that for our senior citizens. So it's, and as Shirley and I think is about to in mental hit, working with our young people. So they're working with basically little kids all the way to our senior citizens, working on not just home economics, but lifestyle and health and wellness and things like that. The Relationship Smarts class, I saw some of that. It was amazing. The things they go into with, and it's aimed at 12 to 15-year-olds, but hopefully before they screw up their life. It's basically making good decisions and good choices in all areas of relationship, with your parents, with your peers. Even it even has a thing on social media warning them about some of the dangers and pitfalls of social media that kids need to hear. So I just want to make that clear that this FACS agent is doing a lot more to help a lot more of the population than most people think of the old traditional home economists.
Thank you.
I'll just add to the Relationship Smarts program that Melanie and Ryan both mentioned. Morgan has already done this with the 7th and 8th graders who are in our mentor program, the student mentees, and it's just fabulous. You know, they got so much out of it, and these students really needed that. They needed to hear those instructions, and what they learned from it was great. But she, like I said, she was working before she left to get this program into the actual school curriculum, if possible, so that, you know, all the students can benefit from it. But she did already do it with the 7th and 8th grade mentees, student mentees. And also, let me add that the last 3 people in this position have been fabulous mentors in our program. In fact, they have mentored 15 students over the period that they were there. Morgan is actually going to continue. Well, one of the others is continuing too, but Morgan is going to continue. She took one of the REACH scholars, so she will stay with that student until she graduates. And so she'll still come back even though she's left our county. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. Well, with that, we'll move to item 6.
We'll take up all the time on the agenda tonight. Good evening, everybody. It is Christmas season, so I'm being Santa Claus tonight, and hopefully y'all are in the giving mood as well this evening. But I appreciate y'all's time having us on the agenda, and the reason we're here is because one of our staff is not here with us anymore. As they mentioned, Morgan Langford was our Family and Consumer Sciences agent for Madison and Oglethorpe County. She left effective December 1st. It was a good move for her. She ended up taking a position in the College of Public Health as an academic advisor. And so, you know, it was a good move for her and kind of where she is in life right now, but we're certainly missing her and what she had already started to accomplish in just a year and a half, 2 years in the position. As Ms. Shirley and Ms. Melanie and Mr. Ryan already mentioned, there was a lot of programs she had started implementing and continuing to improve upon. That position in general usually works with all of the age groups in the county in one way or another. Youth, senior citizens, works with child care providers, helps with doing ServSafe certification for people that are food providers. So there's a lot of healthy lifestyle type programming that agent helps bring to the counties that they work in. But the reason I have to come to y'all in order to refill this position, the college has requested an increase in the salary dollars before we can re-advertise and refill that position. When Morgan was hired, at that time, the ask for the total county contribution was $12,000, and that was split, ultimately was split 60-40, 60% Madison County, 40% Oglethorpe County. And y'all remember I had to come to you twice because the first time we were working for a 50-50 split and had to refinagle some things there. But so with this opening and this vacancy, the college is asking for an increase to $16,000 salary, total salary increase. So that would be split if this all works out and we keep the same arrangement. That would be going from salary from $7,200 a year to $9,600 a year salary, and when you add up all the benefit increases there, it would roughly be about a $3,000 total increase for the calendar year for the budget for that position. Now, like I said, Oglethorpe County, they would, share their part of that increase as well. We're still waiting to hear, what they would agree upon. So if they agree to that increase on their end and we agree to the increase on our end, then we can go as soon as possible to start re-advertising that position and refill it as soon as possible. So I talked with the chairman and, kind of shared my thoughts on it, and I think it is definitely an important position in our county. There's a lot of potential work in our county when we look at the, demographics and the high lifestyle disease problems with diabetes, all these chronic problems. There's a lot of potential for education. Our child care providers are always looking for continuing education. And our youth, certainly, they mentioned the Relationship Smarts program. That's actually a grant-funded program that one of our UGA specialists actually went and acquired, that grant. And so our county having that fax agent position provides us the potential to participate in some of these grant programs that come available. And our, close proximity to Athens certainly makes us a very likely candidate to participate in those types of programs if and when they become available. The Relationship Smarts program works on educating kids on making good lifestyle choices. And as Ms. Shirley mentioned, we are taking that into the middle school. Even with that position vacant, we do what we can to be flexible. Ms. Susan Goldman, our 4-H agent, is actually incorporating some of that into our 4-H club meetings in the middle school in the upcoming last half of the school year. So we're making do, but we're certainly, not at full strength. So, what I would hope to see is trying to get this position filled as soon as possible. If we stick with the 2018 budget numbers that's already been approved, that would require us to wait until May 1st for a start date. And so that wouldn't require an increase in that position in dollars. But if we hire somebody with that understanding, we'd have to make sure that 2019 that amount is available to continue that position. I think best case scenario, I think we could get somebody hired before May 1st. I would hope April 1st would be a possibility, but a lot of that is outside of my control. Once it leaves here and goes up to the university, there's a lot of stuff behind the veil that I wish I had more control over, but I don't. So I'll leave that up to y'all. If you have any questions on this, I'll be happy to entertain them.
When do you expect to get an answer from Oglethorpe County?
I've talked with Jeff Aaron, the county coordinator, my colleague over there, and he's spoken with some of the commissioners and the county administrator. He thinks they'll be okay with increasing to that equal 40% share, but he doesn't have a definite, and I'm not sure when he might get a definite. I haven't heard definitively from him yet on that. But as soon as I let him know what happens here, maybe that'll kind of light the fire a little bit. Yes, sir. Hopefully so.
Are there any other questions? So you're saying, if you got to say April, how much would you need? Like $240 or something like that?
Well, it would be, the monthly increase is about a $250 amount, if we look at salary and benefits. So it would be, at least $200 to $300 to be safe to cover that.
Gotcha.
And if we approve it, you know, for the full year and do a budget amendment to increase it that $3,000, you know, regardless of when we get somebody hired, whatever doesn't get spent, doesn't get spent.
Right.
So it's just there floating, but that does add to the total budget. I understand that.
Yeah, simple math, looks like 8 months covers the 96. So April 1st hire means that at least with the current budget, you wouldn't have to be taking any additional dollars out. But again, the decision would be to knowingly grant that January 1st of next year, though. So.
Right. And that would be in my budget request for 2019.
Right. Well, and as we discussed, that's the only concern I have. I know, you know, as much as I talked with a number of people about this over the past few weeks, we're going to undertake some, you know, whether it's a wage, pay scale type study. But we have had people, the sad reality is we've had people leave the county in the last week, several, like for employment in other counties because of pay, and it's just something I'm keenly aware of too. And
right.
So again, if the decision is made to support this, just realize it would be April 1st before you hit that break-even point as far as being able to pay it with current 2018 budget dollars.
As an educator, I'd like to make a motion to approve the position. I've seen Morgan in action. I know how much she does being in the schools. So I'd like to make a motion to approve that position at the amended salary and to whatever needs to be done at whatever time this person's hired.
I'll second that, Chairman.
So I have a motion to approve the increase. Basically, it's what you're doing from 7,200 to 9,600 per year. For that amount
all this has to do is what Okothok does too.
it would be a contingent vote, like
Right.
perhaps like last year was, to make sure that they would be able to cover the 40%. I know we have several of these types of arrangements with Okothok County, and certainly think 60% is generous given our millage increase. So,
Right.
but so I have a motion and a second to approve this increase. Is there any other discussion, or is there a start date associated with this? Is that part of the motion? No.
Me and you talked, you know, one of my favorite quotes is, the only thing that saves us from the bureaucracy is this inefficiency. and that's kind of the university. And to be quite honest, I don't think you get it until April, you know, so.
I think April 1st, especially being on this end of Christmas, I think April 1st would be a Christmas miracle, sort of, but that's my hope. That's right. I would be pushing. I've learned in my job that frequent emails is not pestering, it's encouraging. So I would be encouraging as best as I could do. So.
Any other questions or discussion on this? All right, with that, we'll vote. Commissioner Bettis?
Yes.
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 I'll certainly keep you all updated, and I'll be emailing our folks and contacting them tomorrow, and Oglethorpe as well, and let you know what happens. So, Merry Christmas to all,
Merry Christmas.
and to all of you tonight. And I have your Christmas card. I already gave everyone else
Scott, thank you. He's got money. I'll look at it later.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
And thanks for the cookies.
Take one on the way home.
I gotta have another one.
All right, the next item is to consider 2018 beer and wine license applications. We have two, is that correct? And I think I got it right there. The first one is for the Nice Grocery Store. These are new applicants, Nice Grocery Store and Fred's Store on 72.
Might be check out,
Oh,
you don't know.
I don't know, I haven't seen anything on But
All
I'm saying that it's
paperwork.
okay.
Yeah, that we've received all the necessary, paperwork to include the background on them.
I make a motion to approve the new application.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve both of these applications, East Grocery Store and Fred Store. Any questions or discussion on that? All right.
Bring us some sense there.
Seeing and hearing none, Commissioner Pethel?
Yes.
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 Right. Okay, next item, consider scheduling a work session with the Board of Assessors, Chief Appraiser, and any staff available. And this was requested, Commissioner Easter brought this up in the previous meeting, and I'll yield the floor if you'd like to add, say anything about what you're...
I get, excuse me, get a lot of inquiries from a lot of people, my constituents, your constituents, everybody's constituents. And I just think it's time that we had a work session to ask some questions that we need to be able to answer to the people that's asking us questions. And it could be sometime in January or whenever.
Okay, so you're asking Board of Assessors, Chief Appraiser.
The reason I said it like, any staff available, I don't strip the office and I can bring one, two, whatever, keep the office open.
All right, okay.
Don't make, put a hardship on anybody.
Is that a motion?
I'll be looking for a motion to do this, and I did want to point out, for those who may not be aware, I think I can share that I did receive word that Vicki Craig, which is I believe she's level 4, is that right?
Yeah.
Is taking a position in, is it Banks County? Banks County. She's working a 2-week notice, so
The chief appraiser over there too.
she'll be the chief appraiser, that is right, in Banks County. So, but I wanted you to be aware that she wouldn't be a part of this if this moves forward anyhow. But so the motion would be to schedule a work session. I don't know if you want the date to be TBD and let Ron work with the commissioners.
That would be my motion.
Okay.
If it's approved, to let Ron work out a date.
So I have a motion to schedule a work session with those listed, the Board of Assessors, Chief Appraiser, and any available staff. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Questions or comments on that?
I would hope that everybody up here, if this is approved, would have some questions.
Well, I think knowledge is power. The more they tell us about the job, their jobs, and I don't know if it's going to be informative, and they can convey, and just inform us on how the process works.
For anything very specific, if there's any, things that would require a little preemptive study or whatever, I would hope that we would also notify them if there's something particular that they could show up with, so that they're prepared as well.
I would hope they would show up with knowledge.
Yeah.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
I mean, because when I met with
If the questions are general enough, I'm sure they'd be able to answer.
They would be general.
Okay.
They would be trick questions, anything they can't answer, shouldn't be able to answer.
Okay.
This is not a gotcha
Very nice.
question, this is
Okay.
a good question to ask.
All right, so I have a motion and a second. Any other comment, or,
I would like to make one comment. I just want to make sure that all of us, if there's any pieces of property that we think need to be looked at, any kind of examples to do, I think, make sure we have those there too, so we can,
Well,
look at those, so we can
they're not
look at
supposed to get involved with, setting values in this county.
Right.
That's why for 7 years I've stood here and kept my mouth shut, but I'm getting enough heat from people in the county.
Right.
So if I'm gonna serve the taxpayers of this county, I'm gonna have to ask questions.
No, I understand, and I totally think that's totally fair. I just want us to, address the problem and try to solve the problem, not just, go in there and just go back and forth talking and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So, if there's any specifics that, if there's any specifics, I would love for that to be there too, so we can discuss it.
But Mike, would you agree that we shouldn't get any specifics, we should get in, how things are doing?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So, you know, when you have, I mean, I know what you're saying. It's hard to defend something when it's just allegations. You're gonna, I think, rather than asking about, you know, Jane Doe's farm, you're gonna have to ask about the large land schedule. How do you create that? Yeah. And do all of us know how to read that? And do we know how to read? Yeah, that's right. Okay, just make sure we know.
That was why I wanted to be sure that Lee understood that I'm not picking on the board of assessors or robbing anybody. I don't get anything about constituents this county just help pony up a bunch of money. And I need answers to some things, and I'm not trying to set values or anything like that, just get answers.
Well, I'm good now.
Procedure answers.
That's all I wanted to hear.
Anything else? All right, this is a motion to schedule, so vote is to Commissioner Allen.
Yes.
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 Very good. We will be working with you to coordinate that. Next is to consider reappointment of Kenneth Bradley to the Planning and Zoning Board.
That's me. He's my appointment on there. Ken's done a great job. He took over for Wayne when Wayne left before his term was over. He's not had that much time to serve, and so he is willing to serve, and I would like to make a motion to reappoint Kenneth Bradley to the Planning and Zoning Board.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to reappoint Kenneth Bradley to the Planning and Zoning Board. Any discussion on that? Any questions? Anything? Commissioner Bettis?
Yes.
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 Yes. Thank you.
Last item for business is discuss intersections on Highway 72, Commissioner Bettis.
This isn't going to take very long. I just think we need to discuss and be proactive, because I am concerned. It seems there's so much more traffic on Highway 72, even this year compared to last year. And I know there's 58 more students at Colbert Elementary, and they keep rising just this year alone. We enrolled a certain amount, we have 58 since then. So, and I almost hold my breath at that Quick Trip intersection every time I drive by it. And now, even just trying to get in on to Colbert School Road from 72 and taking a left, at times I've got to go down. And one time I went by the bread basket and just took a left to go down that. But anyhow, I did a U-turn, and I just think we need to be proactive. And I did talk to Alan about it, and then Rhonda did send me that flashing beacons and signage at Colbert were on the list and approved on the off-system safety project. So, and at one point, Commissioner East, I think you did mention there was money for that one intersection, for that stoplight.
Yeah, we had the vote set aside money for turning lanes and light.
At the Quick Trip.
And some bills, food store coming.
Mm-hmm. Right, and it didn't come. So I would love to see it.
So was it tied to the development of deals there?
It was kind of tied to, because I don't think the DOT wants to talk about it unless, it's like the school thing.
Mm-hmm.
With the new Dollar General coming down there, we need a light there, baby. You got to look at these things like, what can possibly happen to it? Well, I know what happened to one of the Quick Pick.
Right.
I ain't well and won't never be well. But it's a school thing down there. It's really going to get rough with that new, and the new Dollar General's going to come in and off of the school road. Won't be able to access the
Right.
school at all. So everything's going to be on the inside. But you have to start these processes a long time before you get them.
Right.
If you get them at all.
Well, and just so you know too, as she mentioned, there were 3 projects as part of this all-system safety grant that we applied for. And all 3 were approved. We've actually performed and paid for 3 separate studies to locate those signs. We get the grant money, but we have to do the studies to locate them and to have them approved. I tried to get, in other words, this will come back to the culvert one, I tried to have at the intersection, for those of you who travel 98, early in the morning, you'll know that where the Forts and Compton comes off of that, we normally have the sheriff's offices out there directing, because we've already had bad accidents, had 2 bus accidents alone there. And it's a little bit of a rise, and it's a little bit of a curve right there where the road comes off of 98. We tried to get some sort of a flash, or some sort of a signal or whatever, both directions. I was reminded this was an off-system safety, that is for county roads only. So this one did not pan out for that. DOT, we're about to request consideration for 98. And if that's something that we need to go back and look to see how perhaps the sign was put in front of Ingalls, or the stoplight in front of Ingalls, the traffic light, and see what the process was. I'm coordinating with DOT right now on that already, so it might be something we can start seeing what the requirements are for that.
Well, it took many, many years to get that one in the English.
Right. And my guess is anytime you work on county roads, it's much easier than trying to get a change on a state road. So.
But if we could work on one or both of those in the second, we could really, this life and lots up that hard on Marsh Road. I don't guess anybody ever got killed at School Road, but there's always that possibility.
Sure.
You don't want to wait until that happens either.
The son,
No, that's,
the son on Highway 72 is younger way, well, I don't know where he's still on. It's that way in the morning, that way in the afternoon. It's hard to cross that 4-lane highway with sun.
And another thing, you're right, this is going to have to be discussions we're going to have, because going forward, as the population pushes from Atlanta and Athens pushes out, like it does, you're going to see more traffic, you're going to see more houses being built, you're going to see more stuff, you're going to see things. We got a lot of intersections out there that need something done.
29 and Piedmont.
Yeah, 106 in these times.
77 Mont Road.
We could go on forever.
Yeah.
We really need to address this stuff.
All right. Well, that's that's something that I can at least start the ball rolling and see what we can find out by way of requirements on those. Roads update.
They're talking down. Oh, I'm good.
You good? Okay. Any? No.
Y'all started hauling dirt yet?
We did, but that rain made it where we couldn't put it on the road. We have one of our senior guys been doing it for 30 some odd years. She highly recommended we not put that over there in light of the rain. We would be over there pulling them out.
Anytime in the winter.
Yeah.
Is the road department working this week?
Oh, yeah. We've been hauling dirt every day, and
Most areas been out too.
we got, and we're working on those roads. It's just that it would not have been a great idea. We just went ahead and opted to bring the dirt back to the over next to the transfer station.
So then that's just where you move past me. Jason got his right of ways turned in on Hope, is it Lane Drive?
Hope
Lane. Is it possible that we could go ahead and just touch that up to help them get started in one time? That hill is probably the only thing that really needs addressing immediately. But they're patiently waiting on it.
Yeah. So my initial answer, my initial consideration is if I go over and do something good and something bad happens, what leg do I have to stand on? I hate it that I think that way, but I want to do those things. And I'm satisfied, like you said, if that's going to happen, it should happen within the next meeting to vote to adopt that road.
That's been voted on. But they had to do.
They'd like to file the right-of-way, so has everything been recorded and all that?
That, we should get the check for that next Friday, and they should be recorded next Friday. Not this Friday.
So, if that's soon enough, then.
But not fall through this time.
No, you've already voted to take it under, and if we have the signatures, once they're recorded, I feel better
We
about
worked
it.
really hard on those things twice.
Yeah, well,
One's coming.
just as,
Here.
yeah.
The hills, they're Achilles heel kind of.
So we're gonna say plus or minus a week, it should be done. So,
Well, is it voted in or not?
Yeah, we voted to approve, you voted already to adopt the road.
They just gotta be,
We just gotta have the deed recorded.
And Rhonda's taking care of that.
Yeah, so,
But as soon as they get recorded, ask Alan and this little something, I don't expect the whole.
no, he did that on Hickory Hills, exactly, same thing. As soon as he got the go-ahead, he was over there within the week that it was done, so I'll make sure that we get over there on that.
Is any progress being made on the road abandonment?
That would be me, and, yeah, I'm right on it, I'm sorry. Actually, the chairman, worked out the issues we had talked about, so it's all ready to go. I've just got to get the notices out and ad in the paper, and I'm sorry, that's my fault. I'm a couple of weeks behind from when he told me to do it.
We had two that were landlocked, had a piece of parcel of land that was landlocked, and we were able to track down, the individuals and work an arrangement with them that, will allow us to proceed.
We answer that, the next thing is public hearing.
Yeah, exactly. We need, and just to make a special point on that, sooner is better than later on those, by the way. There's some things, there are dynamics at work that would help us if we could get that.
Yeah, we usually just do those as an agenda item on a meeting you've already got scheduled.
Okay, perfect. All right, any other update? Urgent matters?
Yes, sir.
All right, folks, statements and remarks from citizens, anything at all?
I have a couple items. G. Lurley, my name. I'd like to see countywide voting for all commission seats. So everyone has a chance to vote for everyone running. And I'd like to see the burying of farmers' dead animals. I'd like to see that go away. That's not for the county taxpayer to pay for.
Don't do it at all, or charge if we do.
I don't really think the county should be doing it at all, even for a charge. Because, seems to me if you do that, I've got a dirt driveway. I want the county to come grade it 2 or 3 times a year, and I'll pay you $25 or $75, whatever, to get it graded. That's the way I see it. I don't think it should be a county taxpayer function. And also, my wife and I will be paying $8,460 for health insurance at 18. And we're no longer willing to pay for our employees' health insurance. And when it comes up for renewal, I think they should be paying 25% first year, and the next year 25 more until they assume all the costs of their health insurance. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lewis. Anybody else like to speak tonight? All right, executive session tonight.
We do have one little matter, Mr. Chairman,
Okay.
you and I talked about.
Can we do that with a member missing?
Yeah, I can't remember if we ever amended that charter provision, but it's always, I've often said many times, and still is my opinion, that the Open Meetings Act that says you do it by majority vote supersedes that old 1965 provision anyway.
It would be unanimous either way.
It's true. That's true.
Motion to go into executive session.
Have a motion? Do we have a second?
Okay.
I have a second. Any questions, concerns on that? The vote is to Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, folks, we're going to be in executive session and try to make it quick, but we'll be back to join the meeting after. All right, well, I'm looking for a motion to approve the minutes from the executive session.
Motion to approve.
Second. Motion and second. Any questions, comments? vote goes to Commissioner Eastco.
Yes.
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 All right. Have a motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned.
Have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. Any discussion? Commissioner Allen?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, that's right.
Thank you.